Hey everyone, what's up? So today we're back again for a recap of Love and Hip Hop Hollywood. So let's first talk about the dinner meeting or lunch meeting with the whole entire fam, which is Lyrica and her mom, and we have A1 and his mom, his brother, and his brother's wife. So they're all sitting at the table. Everyone is just ready to come to blows, and they're upset because they don't want to see Lyrica with A1. As we know, they were having some issues because of a rumor that Lyrica was messing around with Safaree. And A1 really started to believe it, especially because he saw how emotional Lyrica was getting when he confronted her about it. But they did try to come together, as we know last episode, to just squash everything, move forward, because fact of the matter is they have a baby on the way and they're trying to make their marriage work. But their family just does not want that to happen. And that's the thing, like, you have to be careful, because once you start going to your family and friends and start talking about things in your relationship, when things turn completely left, it's hard to get everybody back on board. So at this point, everyone separates from each family, and A1 just basically just splurges out and says, look, I am having a baby with Lyrica. And they're just like, well, you need to basically get a fraternity test, because how do we know if this is really going to be your baby or not? Because last time we checked, she was messing around with Safaree. Now, on the flip side, Lyrica tells her mom the same thing, that she's pregnant, and she's just so emotional and upset and just starts crying. And at this point, A1 comes outside, and he was just like trying to just make sure Lyrica was okay. And Lyrica's mom, Lyrica Sr., was just like, look, last time I saw you, you threw me out your house. You and my daughter were arguing and fighting because of all this drama. And now this, and he apologized. So moving forward. And the next thing we have Tiearra, Nikki, and Paris, and they're all just talking about the whole eckbar situation, because at this point Paris and Nikki was like, look, we got enough information on eckbar, we need to just tell TT everything. So they explained everything to her about him having a wife and the fact that they're still together, and also that he has a girlfriend as well. Now, Tiearra, she looks shocked, but at the same time, she doesn't look that surprised. And she's just like, well, he has been telling me he's not dealing with his wife like that anymore. Like, they're separated, they're not together. But, I mean, Paris seems really invested in this, more so than Nikki. And so it seems that, you know, TT's on the same page, basically saying to Paris, look, let's just, since we have all the information we need, let's just confront him, and let's just basically tell him, like, look, we know what's going on. And so it seemed at that point that Nikki was down for it, but Paris was definitely like, all right, just tell me when and where, and let's go. Next scene, we have Brooke. Now she invites Marcus. He comes into their hotel suite. In the hotel suite, it is already set up like a actual wedding ceremony. So you have the ordained minister, you have like candles, rose petals. We have Brooke there, and Brooke looked really pretty. She just looked so gorgeous in that black dress that she had. She also had Bridgette there, and Bridgette actually looked nice for the first time this whole season, because I was just like, she's a pretty girl, but I haven't really been seeing her like come through with her looks. And so Marcus comes in, and he's like excited at first, because he's just like, oh wow, this is what she planned for me, like, okay. Then he comes in and he sees the full scope of the room, and he's just like really shocked, like, what the. And at that point, right after him is his mom, who comes into the room, and so does his and her mom comes too. So at this point, they're all in shock, like, what is going on? And he's in shock as well, and she's just like basically pulling out the ring, and she's just like, yes, I will marry you. And it's just like, he's looking at her like she's crazy, like, you know, I didn't really propose to you, right? Like, I did have the ring, and I was saying hypothetically I was going to, but I didn't. But it's obvious they have so much love for each other, and she really cares about him, because she really wants to be with him. Like, she wants to be Mrs. Black. And so he told her, like, no, we're not doing this. Like, we got to do this the right way. If we're going to get married, like, I want us to have the flower girl. We want our parents to be, like, you know, dressed up the par. And I want this to be right. And I want to be able to have this done with you being included and me being included. And so she was just like, oh, okay, I understand. And then the next minute, he actually proposed to her with a new ring, took off the old ring that she was holding on to. I did think that was sweet, but it just honestly, something about it just seemed like it was staged. It didn't seem authentic at all. So I quickly want to talk about Amber and her mom, who's her manager, and basically it's like a photo shoot for Amber because Amber is a model, but she's also trying to be a singer as well. And, you know, this new photo shoot, the photos will be great for promo for her new single and possibly her EP. And her mom was just being hard on her. She's like, you know, trying to get in the zone and pose. And her mom's like, no, let me show you how it's done. And she's just kind of picking at her a bit, just being a mom. But at the same time, Amber's just like, you know, my mom just seems like so negative towards me. And I'm just tired of it all the time. And it's just like, Mom. But her mom tries to explain, like, Amber is spoiled rotten. Like, I'm doing everything to take care of her and help her elevate her career, so she's going to have to deal with this. You can't just get all the money from me and expect me just to be sitting in the back and not saying anything. So the next scene, we have actually TT and Paris. They actually go to Eckbar's house and they confront him. Now, at this point, Nikki's nowhere in sight. Apparently, she had something to do with her family, so she didn't come. Tiearra wasn't really happy about that because she was just like, oh, so you can do everything as far as investigating and tagging along with Paris, but when it comes to, like, this situation and actually coming to support me and being there with me as I'm there, you're nowhere in sight. So they go and he invites them in, and basically DT and Paris just says, look, we know what's going on. It's quite clear and obvious. Like, you have a wife and you have a girlfriend, so why couldn't you just say this all along? So as they're speaking, the wife and the girlfriend comes out and they're just like more so upset at Tiearra, and I don't understand, but they were trying to convey that Tiearra has to know about them. And the girlfriend, who owns the actual fitness shop or the fitness center, the gym, she was basically saying, well, I know that Tiearra must have put every one of her friends up to, like, interrogating me, interrogating his wife. And Tiearra honestly had nothing to do with this. So she was just in a state of shock. Like, what are you guys even talking about? I had no idea that they were going to do any of this. And she really didn't know from what we've seen. So Eckbar is just sitting there. He's just like gloating. Like, he didn't even care. And he just basically was just a douchebag and was just like, look, I invest in women. And at the end of the day, anyone I'm messing with, they're benefiting from me, so it's either you with it or you're not. Now, this next part of that scene just confused me because then both of the girls started arguing with each other, the girlfriend and the wife, and it just honestly didn't make any sense. And then they wanted to just fight both Paris and TT, and I was just like, we could have done without that scene. I mean, I'm just happy that at that point Tiearra was just like, I don't want to deal with this. Like, I just want to leave. Like, I'm not fighting over him. Like, I'm gone. But then the girls then wanted to even cause a bigger scene and come after both of the girls, TT and Paris. But it was just honestly stupid. So the next scene, we have Ray J. He meets up with Safaree to discuss, like, the idea that he should just, you know, come out and just speak to A1 again and Lyrica, and basically he's trying to do some type of dinner, and so Brooke would be there, Marcus would be there, and Princess, and maybe he can just tell his side of the story and reveal that he actually messed around with Lyrica. But the thing is, like, all this time, like, he never came right out and said he did. It's obvious, like, every time they talk about the discussion, it just looks like everything is just edited and it just doesn't make sense. Like, it doesn't flow, it's not concise, so I'm just utterly confused. So the next scene, we have Rockstar. He basically throws a single release party for Amber. He finished up her song. Now, as he is there, he actually invited Paris and Brooke, which he is friends with Brooke. But he explains to them, like, look, I paid a lot of people here to be here, and for you guys, I really need you just to really act like you really are into the song. Bob your head, do whatever you need to do, but I just need you to just show that you really like the song. And they were like, all right, we got you, we'll support you. So they play the song, and Amber's mom is listening to it, and she's just like, for $20,000 that I paid so far, the song sounds horrible. And so she starts lashing out at him like, this is trash. Like, I want my money back. And so she's going back and forth with him, and Rockstar is just like, are you serious? Like, I did a miracle on this song. Like, listen to her raw vocals. And he plays her raw vocals, just being petty. She did sound bad. We saw last week when she was in the studio. But at the end of the day, Amber was just like, she was embarrassed, but she was also like upset at her mom, because she's just like, why did you cause that scene? Like, the song wasn't that bad. So, moving on from this last scene, this is basically the dinner. It's a pop-up dinner. Basically, Safaree is popping up. Now, to backtrack a little bit, Safaree had, this whole rumor started because K. Michelle, when she was going back and forth with Lyrica, she said, well, my friend Safaree told me that, you try to sleep with him, etc. Now, Safaree did speak to K. Michelle and try to confront her about everything, and she was just like, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have, betrayed your trust, but I just wanted to just go for something I knew that would hurt her. So anyway, that's how everything just really just came to a head. So at this dinner, everyone is there. Lyrica, A1, Ray J, Princess, Marcus, Brooke. Now, when Lyrica comes in, Princess already feels bad because she's just like, that's my friend. Like, I think I need to pull her to the side to tell her what's going on. So she pulls her to the side, goes to the bathroom and says, look, just so you know, Safaree's going to be popping up here. And Ray J is the one who invited him. So while she's talking to her, everyone else at the table is talking, and Brooke is happy because she's just like, Marcus and I resolved our relationship. Everything's good. He's no longer with that side chick, and he actually proposed to me. So we are moving forward and getting married. And Lyrica also says, I'm happy for you, and at the same time, I hate that we started arguing, especially over this rumor, because as we know in the beginning of the season, Brooke said she saw that they used to flirt, her and Safaree. So that didn't help the situation either. So, they decided to squash things and move forward. And also, Lyrica had stated that, she's pregnant. And everybody was happy. But in the back of most of everyone's mind, it's like, wait, is this A1's baby or is this Safaree's baby? So anyway, at this point, Safaree pops up, and it just didn't make any sense to me, because I'm like, all right, A1 is talking to him because, as we know, Ray J tried to segue the fact, look, we were the three amigos, and now all this drama, we're not cool like that. So Safaree just looks lost, and he was just like, he basically in translation was just like, I didn't say that I slept with her, but at the same time, he won't come right out and say it did not happen. It never happened. So they're just staring at each other, and he's just like, A1 is like, can you just give me a direct answer? And he's just looking at him. It was just really foul. So at this point, A1 is just frustrated. He jumps on the table. He's really showing out this season. And then that's where the episode ends. I mean, I don't know. I feel like VH1 needs to do better with these storylines, because it's just for the average viewer, we know this is not even real. I didn't even see this coming. Safaree, Lyrica, A1, was there nothing else that they can find that they could make a little bit more authentic? I don't know. What do you guys think? You let me know.